welcome to part 2 of the Metal Gear Marathon. This time we will be taking a look at Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. I will be the first to say Peace Walker is probably the worst Metal Gear Solid game. But is worst synonymous with bad? No. There really isn't a bad Metal Gear Solid game. Peace Walker just has a shallower story and some gameplay changes I'm not fond of. Like, at all. Thank God this game wasn't called Metal Gear Solid 5 like Kojima originally intended. This is certainly not worth the title of Metal Gear Solid 5, but as a canon spin-off game, it's pretty good. So without further ado, the story. Story. Warning, this review will have tons of spoilers. If you do not want to be spoiled, please click the annotation on the screen. Do not blame me for spoiling the story for you. Big Bonnia, Naked Snake, and Kaz Miller formed a group called MSF, a group of mercenaries who have no nation, and well, you know the definition of mercenary. And if you don't, the dictionary was made for a reason. Before I go any further, I'd like to say this game has a secret canon ending which leads to the events of Ground Zeroes, and a non-canon ending which most people get. I will be talking about the non-canon ending because that's what I got, so yeah. Anyways, Snake and Kaz meet up with a little girl named Paz and Rayman Galvez, her mentor, in the ways of peace. The game is called Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker for a reason. She fears nuclear war is upon us and wants Snake and MSF to go investigate. Snake is uninterested until he hears a tape Galvez gives him where he can hear the boss's voice. Yeah, that boss you killed. Kinda ruins that emotion you felt at the end of the game. That she might not be dead. How is she not dead anyway? She got shot square in the forehead. Well, you'll see. By the way, sometime in between the events of Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker and Metal Gear Solid 3, Operation Twin Snakes took place. Yep, you know what that means. Solid and Liquid Snake, or Jack and Eli, were born. Just thought I'd mention that because, you know, a little bit important. Just a little bit to the lore. Anyway, again, after Snake hears that recording, he is 100% invested in this mission. He goes to a facility and learns that nukes are brought into Costa Rica. And just a little lesson, nukes are not peaceful at all. So Snake vows to stop the nukes while looking for the boss. Along the way, he runs into Chico and his commandantes. He takes them all into his unit, MSF. A little later on, Snake runs into Huey Emmerich, the maker of Peace Walker, a nuclear deterrent system, and Hot Coldman, a man who wants to misuse the deterrent. Huey and the rest of the MSF R&D team start work on, you guessed it, Metal Gear Zeke. A woman named Strangelove is working on the AI for Peace Walker, so you gotta go destroy her AI system, because, fun fact, you can't launch nukes without a brain. When you get to Strangelove, she tortures you and asks you for the truth on the bus. Yep. The boss's voice was the AI. So she asks and Snake replies with, I don't know. Eva told you she was innocent at the end of MGS3. You should know. So Snake escapes the torture room. Hot Coldman then steals Paz. You chase after her, but you don't catch her. So you sneak into Hot Coldman's base. When you're running through his base, guns blazing, and then Heavens Divide, that awesome song comes on. Your only thought is, I am Snake. Anyways, so, you catch up with Hot Coldman, and he explains that if he launches a nuke, nobody will launch back, proving the betterment of machines, and therefore disproving deterrence theory. Right now, as everyone is about to shoot Snake, all of MSF bursts in and shoots down everyone. Hot Coldman is being taken back into the base when he activates Peace Walker. He's the only one who knows the activation code, so when he dies, it looks like everyone's about to die. But not on Snake's watch. He blows up Peace Walker, but the nukes are still about to be launched. Meanwhile, Snake is on the phone with the USA, begging them not to launch like being planned because there aren't really any nukes. It was just to test the theory. The boss's AI takes control of Peace Walker and runs into the water to stop the fake nukes from being launched. Everyone is happy and the game ends. Then an after-credit scene shows that Snake is disappointed in the boss for stopping the fight and giving up. He's now going under the alias Big Boss. So nothing too bad happens until Ground Zeroes a couple months after. When, well, you'll see. Good plot, except for the thing about Snake forgetting the boss was good. That was just stupid. And all the alternative plot was Paz being revealed to be a Cypher or Major Zero agent, and she just gets launched into the ocean. That's how the Belizean fisherman picks her up. And yeah, when I said shallower story, I meant shallower story for.
Snake, I'm proud to announce that preparations for Metal Gear Zeke are complete. We can activate it any time.
Got it. Thanks, Huey.
No need to thank me. At least now I can finally...
Graphics and sound. This for a PSP game was phenomenal. All the textures are crisp with detail and the animations are smooth and fluid. Yes, the models are a bit blocky, but it's a PSP game, so it's acceptable. One problem I did notice is that Snake still aims with his right eye even though it no longer exists. I have no idea if that's an animation error or what, but it bothered me. Sound design is amazing, especially the voice acting. All the characters sound believable with voices given to them. All other sounds sound like they should and are fine. Also, the cutscenes are weird in the style because of the PSP's limitations, I assume. It doesn't look as good as the usual, but it's fine as this game isn't as heavy in story as other Metal Gear Solid games. Now, onto gameplay, where every Metal Gear fan is about to kill me in cold blood. Gameplay. First things first, QuickTime events have no place in a Metal Gear game. I mean, seriously, these things just come out of nowhere and require insane reflexes to get on your first try. I would not have been able to beat the game if it weren't for a friend helping me out in co-op during the torture scene. In that torture scene, you have to have insane speed to be able to beat it without co-op. Second off, the AI is kind of stupid. You can very easily get past the AI, definitely not up to snuff with Metal Gear standards. But it is a PSP game, so I can excuse it. Also, the boss fights are not memorable at all. Metal Gear Solid 3 had amazing boss fights. A man who could control beats, a guy who can hop between trees, like a guy who can hop between trees, I guess. A ghost, an insane gunslinger, and tons of other awesome fights. What does Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker have to offer? Robots. And it's not like robots have their own individual tactics. No, you do the same thing to all of them. Shoot the AI pod. Shoot the AI pod over and over and over again. Also, since this is the only Metal Gear game in co-op, you shoehorn it in for no reason. You almost need the help of another player for all the boss battles. Not because they're insanely challenging, because they have tons of health and attacks that can take out most of your health bar in one hit. And what will happen when they take down the multiplayer, the game will become insanely hard, not challenging, hard. Look, I love a fair fight, but this is not a fair fight. This is giving a guy a pistol to take down Godzilla. Also, what's with the missions? I know that is for portable consoles, so you need something you can pick up and play, but let's be real, this should have never been on the PSP with its awful camera controls on the PSP. It's better played on console through the HD collection. With the story it's trying to tell, it's too big for a portable system. This should have been made into a console game. The missions make the game disjointed and break the flow. Why can't I walk through the world and go to Mother Base at any time? Because it's on the PSP. This game had so much potential, but since it was on the PSP, it had to waste most of that potential to be on a portable system. They try to put things that worked great in MGS3 into this game, but they didn't think it through. For example, camo is back, but you can only switch it between missions. Why can't I switch mid-level? That would have made it tons more useful, because on your first run through the game, you don't know what the level would be like. You may say this adds replay value, but I look at it more as unfair punishment for not memorizing a level. Also, that thing with the two endings, you have to do tons of unnecessary work to get the real ending. If you just want to play the game, you can. Yes, I know MGS1 did the same thing, but in that game all you had to do was mash a button really fast. In this game, to get the real ending,
You have to do tons of side missions to unlock a very hidden secret to get the real canon ending. Okay, well, now that all of my subscribers have either A, unsubscribed, or B, unsubscribed or Hitman for me, let's go to the good with the gameplay. The stealth works well, and Mother Base is insanely fun to customize. The controls on the HD version of the game are amazingly tight and fluid. The level design works well for stealth, and the action is fun, so there is a bit too much action for a stealth game. With all that out of the way, now to overall. Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker is a mixed bag for me. I like the story, graphics, and sound design a lot, but the gameplay is significantly flawed, and when gameplay is flawed in a game, that is a major problem. The problem unfortunately brings down the score to a 6 out of 10. Yes, it's a good game, but with all the flaws, it brought it down a lot. Next time on the Metal Gear Marathon, we will be tackling Metal Gear Solid 5. Until then, this has been Bryce from Trackbrush Gaming, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. Hey, everyone, this is just some kind of like off-the-cuff ending notes about it, about the review. This isn't scripted. First of all, I'm so sorry that it took so long. I saw the computer that I wrote the review on, it got absolutely trashed. And so, I built my new computer, hard drive was still on, or the script was still on my old hard drive. So I had to I took out the old hard drive and put it in my new computer. It wouldn't work. I had given my stepbrother my laptop for a while. I just hadn't even like thought of getting it back. So I remember, I'm like, oh shoot, I gotta work on the review. Everybody's gonna kill me. So, you know, I get that, and I put the hard drive in, it finally works, and so I just shoved it on a USB stick, and so I could finally get this worked on. But, sorry, yeah, so I wrote this review, what, like, over a year ago, probably. So, as you can tell, when the transition from story to graphics and sound, and voice shocked like Octone or whatever, I don't know, but so yeah, and that's why even like looking at the script, I'm like, oh gosh, I really wrote that. So yeah, like so yeah, like I trust me, the review for MGS5 will be a lot better. I have a lot more writing experience. Yeah, also a quick note about how I will review Metal Gear Solid 5. Just to save me the hassle of an almost pointless video for doing Ground Zeroes, because, like, let's be honest, that video would be, like, 5 minutes long, because I'd just save all of the gameplay, I'd just basically, in Ground Zeroes, I'd just talk about the differences between that and Phantom Pain, which really, like, that doesn't warrant an entire review, that warrants a side video that is 3 minutes long. And I already did my first thoughts thing on Ground Zeroes when it came out, like, a year and a half ago or whatever. So I'll just be doing my review for MGS5 as Metal Gear Solid 5 review. Because, you know, like Kojima said, like, Metal Gear Solid 5 is Ground Zeroes and Phantom Pain put together. When you put the two games together, it is Metal Gear Solid 5. So I'll just be reviewing them as one game. They basically are, like, the only difference really is that, aside from being sold differently, Ground Zeroes runs on a downgraded Fox engine. But other than that, they're basically the same. So, yeah, and trust me, the writing will be a lot better. I've gotten, like, more writing experience. Like I said, looking through the script and, like, past scripts, I'm like, oh, gosh. Yeah, anyways, take care, guys, and I'll see you later.